Hi guys. This is Danny from DME Music Alliance, and we are here tonight with an awesome lineup that will be playing November 12th at the Renegade. Going to be a really dope show.
Woo.
We have here Steve from Night Train, Mark Touré, and then Do Me Right. Guys, welcome and thank you so much for being here. Night Train, do you want to start off and just tell us about you and your music and what makes your music you?
Well, first of all, shout out to you. I appreciate this opportunity. DMV all day, every day. What makes Night Train Night Train? Well, first of all, I am not artificial intelligence, so that's part of it. I actually make real songs and stuff. No, I have a lot of fun on a song. I call myself the cure for the common cool. So a lot of what I create do is like a lot of lyricism, a lot of hip hop, boom bappy, a little bit of trap, a little bit of R&B, a little bit of soul, a little bit of little do a little dance, make a little love, get down tonight. But yeah, what makes me unique is being a DMV artist, primarily originally from PG County, I live in Montgomery County now, Maryland, for everybody who's not from the area. And I'm a nerd. I'm a big nerd. I'm a nerd rapper. I use a lot of pop culture references. If I were to give people, like my favorite MCs would be like Redman, Wu Tang, the Czarface. I would say MF Doom, like that kind of energy. And so that's how I bring it. And that's not to say I can't jam with everybody, but that's my foundation. And so what makes me unique is if Pharoah Monch, which is a big influence of mine, is like a lot of tongue twister lyricism that just is digestible for people who want something complex in their palate.
Awesome. So we gotta ask about all those toys. Are those your kids or those yours?
I have no children.
There you
That's
go.
good
I
So,
am a
answer.
child at heart. Yeah, I am. No, these are my Transformers. These are my Transformers. I'm a big nerd. Like I said, I got a Wu Tang hoodie on right now, but I'm a big. I'm an '80s baby, and I got into Transformers. Actually, made a whole album or EP called Mics of Cybertron that features a couple of voice actors from the shows. And yeah, I'm a big. I just came back from New York Comic Con. Like I am a big nerd, and yeah, good vibrations. Next year I'm going to cosplay. I didn't cosplay this year, but next year I'm totally going to cosplay because I was shown out by my wife and my best friend. Like they were nerding out, and I was wearing a Soundwave tape cassette T-shirt, and that's about it.
oh, that's awesome. Okay, Mark.
Yeah. So yeah, that's really dope. In a little lot of ways, I think my music is pretty similar to what Night Train was saying. For his, it's I'm big into lyrics, storytelling as well. I kind of call my music hip hop with a message. While it's mostly hip hop, a lot of it is storytelling based. And just try to make sort of stuff that really impacts folks through daily lives and speaks to real issues. So some of my songs have been used in different high school, college curricula, and that kind of goes into my job. I work as a therapist, mostly for kids on the autism spectrum, but with other neurodivergent needs. So kind of giving making having a purpose to the music is really important to me. That's something that in a lot of ways I feel like found hip hop is like the foundation for that, is like born in activism, born in storytelling, born in sort of engaging communities and uplifting. Very similar to that with kind of the message and things that I make with my music as well.
So about how much of your, because I know your background, how much of your music would you say is geared towards activism and issues around Armenia and some other
Sure.
things like that?
Yeah, so I'm part Armenian, and one of the big songs that I released is called 1915, which is about the Armenian genocide and sort of the I have some other songs about sort of Armenian culture and but also a lot of other songs that kind of fall in that line of terms of like the same purpose of education or empowerment, but are about other different subjects as well. Um, and then and I'll be performing some of those. I'm bringing my buddy Nico Theme, who we have a song called Perspectives, which really talks about race relations in America and a lot of other really important and very poignant topics that we're definitely still grappling with here. Um, I think also there's definitely a good amount of my music where it's kind of just like similar to like what you'd find in like just lyrics and bars and tongue twisters for the fun of it. But still kind of staying true to hip hop in the sense of, being true to the craft and everything.
Who were your idols, your musical idols when you were getting into music?
Oh man, so Biggie is like my first like big introduction into music. Hearing like that when I was a kid was like one of the big pushes forward, but really into like Nas, MF Doom, Wu Tang, um, J Live. Um, yeah, I mean, there's just a lot of that sort of like boom bap, East Coast, grunge is kind of like my big vibe.
Okay.
Immortal Technique as well. Can't forget him. And Rage Against the Machine, actually, while I'm at it. Let me throw one more out there.
I love them. Obviously, I'm more of a metal chick, but yeah.
Sure.
All right, Doomies, and with the cool background, you got to tell us about you and your background and your label coming up.
Word
And I
up.
hope
So,
you're well.
um, happy to be here. Like Train said, like really glad we connected. I think after meeting inside and outside, Hard Rock Cafe at a I forget who was doing the event, but a music education seminar, and I
It
start
was a
there.
dance thing, yeah.
Yeah, it was the musicianship
Yep.
event or whatever. So anyway, that's where we met, connected, stay connected, and so glad to connect with you in this realm to put a show together with these other two dope artists, Mark Toure and Night Train. But Do Me, I talked about the music education because that's kind of a big part of my background these days is coming from that academia music education space. I'm actually coming to you live from the campus of George Washington University, where I'm an adjunct professor teaching a hip hop ensemble. We're in our fourth year, like seventh semester, or something like that. But yeah, so as far as musically, my music is globally focused, international perspective, because I came out of Zimbabwe, my place of origin. So I'm in the diaspora, if you will. Been in the DC area for like mad long, since like '97. Um, and I was already in hip hop when I came here. Had already put out albums and stuff, and so hit the scene immediately. And so I've been putting it down here for a while. So this is the DMV's my adopted home. What makes my music unique, I'd say, is just kind of that international and multi-dimensional perspective, right? Like, I mean, I tell people I'm just as comfortable behind a pulpit, spitting some uplifting bars at a church as I am in a nightclub, rocking, line for line, lyric for lyric, talking about just life and anything else. Try to be reality based in my rap, meaning I love sci-fi and all of that, but I don't talk about a lifestyle that I'm not living. Is where I'm going. So I'm not, popping bottles or busting cats or rolling in a Phantom. I have a, like I say, I drive a Honda Civic, not a Cadillac. So
No gold chains or,
and all of that. So yeah, just I'm like an artist, just kind of like these two guys. We are who we are for real. You know what I mean? We're not putting on made up personas or masks. But we're also good, lyricists, storytellers. Can kind of take you on an adventure. Paint a picture with words. So I'm really into that. Just making music that says something, means something, or kind of moves you in some way. It doesn't necessarily have to be like a cause. Although I do have a lot of like messages about like progressive challenges, struggles, and global issues. But I also have rhymes that just kind of make you think. Sit up and pay attention. just not listen to the words and enjoy the beat. Like I'm talking to you, pay attention, hear what I'm saying, um, and doing it in a way that's engaging and fun. I rock with kids for crowd, crowds of kids. So I just posted a video on my socials where I was like, I rock for people 3 to 103 because people call me up and be like, "Yo, is your music suitable for kids?" I'm like, "Sure is," but I can get gritty with it too. So don't sleep. But definitely that hits you in the head type music. And I'm gonna jump to your question before you ask it. Inspirations: Tribe Called Quest, Jungle Brothers, Black Sheep, Daylight. I'm going through the native tongues. KRS One, Rakim, and then Public Enemy. And the thing I think I really dope about Public Enemy when I first heard him, like the Public Enemy #1, Chuck was saying like sometimes you just gotta spit and not let people know that you're giving them a message while you're giving it to them. So they just hear a dope rhyme and then it's like, oh wait, oh there was a gem in there, oh that was a bar. So yeah, I could talk all day, but that's kind of me in a nutshell. Nutshell.
So there's a little bit of what it's like with having you as a professor, then, right?
A little bit. Lots of pop culture references, lots of rap quotables back and forth, and I see if people pick up on them as I'm going. All of that.
Yeah. Awesome. So at what year or how old were you when you moved here to the US?
I moved here in 1990. I was like 18, about
So what is
thereabouts.
it like putting out an album in Zimbabwe?
That's a great question. It was in 1989 impossible to put out a
Yeah.
record in Zimbabwe. And so I came to America and put out a record. And my brother and I were actually one of the first African hip hop artists to put out a record in America and actually gain international recognition. We tried back home. I was obviously in high school. They were kind of like, "What are you doing? What is this rap thing you're trying to do?" So this is 1989, right? I'm dating myself, but they ain't know what the heck we were trying to do. It didn't make sense to them. But luckily, we connected with somebody in America. And hip hop, if you remember, early 90s was super on the Afrocentric tip, like the groups I mentioned, Jungle Brothers, King Son, X Clan. And so we fit right in. It was like, well, here's some brothers from the mother, which was the original name our group was going to be called, that are talking about their experience for real. People say Zulu Nation. Zulu is the sister language to Ndebele, which is what my people are. So it all kind of just fit like it was meant to be.
So here's a interesting question I don't usually ask artists, but I think I'm going to start asking more. Were your parents supportive of this is question is for everybody. Were your parents supportive of what you wanted to do with your life? Or were they like, no, you got to get a real job?
I want to hear what these guys have to say on that.
Well, funny you say that. One of the reasons that the main reason, primary reason, my name is Night Train 357, is that was my father's name. He was a CB radio enthusiast, and he was an architectural designer, and he was a bass guitar player. So after he passed away, I took the name on to pay homage to my dad. So, side note, I won a Washington Area Music Award, a Whammy, for best rap album, and of course, it was dedicated to my dad. It was like, "We did it, Dad. We made it." And he died in 2002 of congestive heart failure, and he's close to me in every way. I'm very very family oriented, and so I'm sure he would have my support if he was here. My mother and my grandmother, seeing as I'm an independent artist, they kind of go, well, it's something you like to do, but it's something extra. I'm a full-time graphic artist.
Yeah.
That's my 9 to 5. They were excited to find out that I was making a little money on the side by being a performing artist, and so it's a blessing. So, do I get any pushback? No, because I haven't quit my day job, and mainly I make I'm in a position where as long as the bills get paid, we're all having a good time. Like I've never been. I am not an artist that is all for nothing. Jeopardize my way of living. I like living in my house. Like I got upgraded to a house, And it's like, okay, I'm going to have a good time, and we're going to have a great experience in music and art. So I've been an artist my entire life.
Mhm.
I was drawing Superman at like kindergarten age. Like I have been an artist. My father was an artist. His father was an artist. So it just runs in the family. So it was almost expected. And we've all taken art as a construct and molded it into something for ourselves. Like he was my father was an architectural designer who actually was credited for working on at the time the newest parts of the Thurgood Marshall BWI airport. And he opened up for Parliament with George Clinton. And yeah, he was he had a group in the 70s called the Space Niggas. And they were kind of like acid funk or whatever. He played a 6-string bass, and yeah, he was an amazing human being. And my family is filled with artists, so they are just happy that I'm doing what I do.
Yeah, absolutely. That's such a sweet, awesome story. Um, Mark, what about you?
Yeah, I mean, Night Train, a lot of what you said just kind of resonates with me. My dad, he's a big, huge music head. My grandmother was a concert pianist who, was into like traditional classic, but then she had early onset arthritis, so she kind of switched to jazz, which is a little bit easier. You know, if you make a mistake, you just do it 3 times, and now it's part of the music. So I grew up, really exposed to a lot of music early on. My dad would take me to shows, like Dylan, Sun Ra, a lot of all sorts of stuff, eclectic stuff. And but I started there was definitely some pushback because as he was really big in understanding, talking with artists and everything, he also understood sometimes how hard it is for artists to make a living. It's like, what's the difference between a full-time artist and a large pizza? A large pizza can feed a family of four. See what you always used to say to me. So he's like, do it, but like just be aware. So it was I think after I released my song 1915, that's the one about the Armenian genocide, and that got used in some schools and a lot of commemorations. So I got the opportunity to perform it at some pretty big places, and I think it was after I got the chance in 2017 to perform it in Times Square that they kind of like saw like, okay, this is maybe going somewhere, and it's like, there's a purpose behind it. And after that, it was kind of like a little bit more like, hands off, and like, you do your thing and just kind of giving advice, but it wasn't as much like, get into a 9 to 5, like, go do this. And it was kind of like very supportive after that, which is really cool. Um, but yeah, no, it's one of those things very similar, I think, to Train. It's like, in a lot of ways similar to Do Me Too. It's like you find, because I combined my 9 to 5 work with the music sort of earlier this year, I kind of really dove into the education side. And if you're doing something that you love and that complements what you're doing, for earning funds, and they're both working together, then that's like a great situation right there.
That's a great situation.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. And you love what you're doing. Love, love, love. I've
Yeah.
seen you, on the phone about when I had, a friend who needed help, and you're just, yeah, it's like, musicians and how passionate they are about music, you're that way about what you do during the day too. So yeah.
Yeah.
Demi.
Yeah, so my it's an interesting answer to that question is mine. Both my parents were educators. I never thought I'd be in education because I just never saw myself in that space. But they kind of were keen or encouraging and supportive of you having passions and stuff, but they wanted you to have a master plan, right? So like, go to college and make sure you get a degree and you have something. So if this doesn't work out for you, not that they don't think it will, but if in case it doesn't, the industry turns, it is funny, which is kind of how it is. And even after we got our first deal, the label we were on, which is a subsidiary of the Walt Disney Company, folded. So yeah, you got to have what you're gonna do when they come to get you, bad boys, what you're gonna do. So having to have a backup plan and be able to
We
pay
can't
good
we can't talk about Bad Boy no more.
right,
We can't
right.
talk about Bad Boy.
But like Train said, like if you want to have a house, if you want to have that, but our household was always musical. Like from the early days, I remember we'd have, all kinds of music playing in the house. Everything I remember, like a lot of African music and Afrobeat, and Hugh Masekela, Miriam Makeba, um, Fela Kuti, James Brown, the Silvers, like lots of the Commodores. It's always music playing. I started out in actually dancing or whatever, and they loved it. They drive me to stuff. My dad would drive us to like a contest. I was in either middle school and when I started into high school. So he was supportive in that way. I remember I was a b-boy. Remember when I first learned how to do the head spin? I was in the living room and I'm like, "Hey, watch this!" I did a head spin, and my dad was like, "Hey!" My mom was like, "Oh my God, you're gonna break your neck." But they are always like keen on it. I think when we started getting like serious with it, of course they were still in Africa, we were here, so they weren't following along as much. But they got excited when they saw like the newspaper articles or like the write ups. So we're like, "Hey, we're going to LA to shoot a video." They're like, "Oh yeah, that's really cool. Like, make sure you don't fall behind in your studies because they're from the old school generation where like people who were musicians generally had a hard time. So I think they had that perspective and didn't understand it. But it's funny that I am in education, like formally now. I mean, I was always doing workshops and, doing stuff in schools, middle schools, high schools, elementary schools, and teaching, doing songwriting workshops. But then to formally be at a university. And so I tell my parents, I'm like, "Hey, I'm an adjunct professor. What you know about that?" And they're like, "Oh, that's great. So what do you teach?" I say hip hop. They're like, "How do you teach hip hop? What exactly do you do?" So
I feel
it's
like
kind of
I
a
feel
full
like
circle moment.
Doomy, I feel like hip hop needs education, especially nowadays. It's like there are uh, not to be Debbie Downer womp womp, but there are some people who kind of, especially hip hop as a culture, don't exactly they kind of cosplay as it and don't realize it. That realize how important it is to especially the music heads. And so it. I think what you're doing is absolutely amazing. I did briefly. I taught the art of freestyling at
Oh,
Bloom
dope.
Bars in Capitol Heights and in Montgomery County. So I know so there are people thirsty for that information. So I really commend what you're doing, man.
And I appreciate it. And the thing that's cool about it too is like people always be like, "Oh yeah, you gotta make your raps for the youth. You can't come with these complex bars or you can't talk about these top." And I went to sixth graders at Suitland Middle School, sixth graders, and I was spitting what I always spit, the doomy rhymes, and they were like, "Oh!" They were like, we're in an assembly, and they were like cheering, and I'm like, they appreciate good artistry. Like, don't sleep. Don't
Yeah.
dumb it down and be like, "I'm gonna
Yeah,
do this
agreed.
stupid, nursery stuff," because they're younger. Like, they appreciate quality.
Oh, this is how you
Yeah.
teach metaphors and similes and all sorts of great, writing,
Yeah.
tactics.
Yep. Confidence, projection. It's like, I can't hear you. Speak up. They want to hear
Danny,
you.
I
Let them
know
know off.
I heard at the beginning of the conversation that you're a metalhead, and my engineer, which is incredible. His name is Ron Bento. He's from a metal band called Aurora Borealis, and another band called Ice, not to be confused with the current Ice. But really dope
Name
guy, and
change.
name change, right? But
Yeah.
he's incredible guy, and he knows how to mix hip hop. He doesn't listen to a lot of hip hop. Always says, "I listen to what you say, Train, because well, you actually say something. You actually say things, and that's the fun of it. The mental gymnastics. Like I would never. I don't like dumbing down things. I believe that there are times where you should just have fun. I'm a
Hmm.
big old dirty bastard fan or like Biz Markie. But then there's some complex. I saw something recently about just the complexity of even the simplest rhymes and knowing the backstory, knowing the background. I'm gonna nerd out for a second. I love when you're on stage and you let the beat breathe for a second and you hit them with that punchline on the fourth bar or the eighth or the 16th. that makes everyone go woo, and you can see collectively their faces kind of tighten up because you got them for that moment. You let that flow just hit them and punch them right in the face, and they all collectively just cover their mouths. Woo! Like I love that feeling.
So I was kind of a good segue. I was going to ask you guys, do you feel like the art of storytelling and the essence of hip hop has been lost over the years?
Can I answer this one too?
Yes.
Absolutely not. And it is because I'm in it. So you're asking it's a hard question because you will talk to somebody who only pays attention to what's on the radio or only pays attention to what's on their TikTok feed or whatever, and they'll be like, hip hop is not. You got old guys with gray in their hair. It's not what it used to be, and you got young kids going, well, they ain't got no bangers because they ain't in the club. You're not in the club, and then I am being hit left and right on my streaming and Bandcamp and everything. Like I can't name all the songs that come out in a week, and I have to I'm imploding. I mean, whether it be indie or mainstream or underground or old school or new school, there's a lot of stuff going on. So I'm the wrong person to talk to about it as an artistry. So yes, it's to me just these guys alone. I mean, I listen to Doomy's album all the time. I got it on record. I got it on vinyl. Like it's phenomenal stuff. So no, the answer is no. Fight me on it. Talk amongst yourselves.
I agree with that. I agree with that. But go ahead, Mark. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say I completely agree, and I think it's interesting that you brought up the top 40 because I think that that's something that sometimes there is less sort of storytelling or substance stuff on there on kind of a just if you were going to go by like the trends, but then even then there's some like great stuff that breaks through like I mean like Lil Wayne and Kendrick's Mona Lisa like that's a great story and the way that they're like rapping from different perspectives, so it's like but then again, it's like you just got to peel back the layer a little bit to look at some of the independent and in some of that underground. And there's like, it never stopped with the storytelling.
It never
and there's
stopped.
so much there.
And I think what it is for me is the deluge, like Train was saying, like if you go years back, 10, 20 years back or whatever, I was there. I was doing it still then, and still doing it now at a high level. There wasn't as much stuff. The barriers to entry, for better or for worse, were harder. So there wasn't as much stuff. So the stuff that was scintillating and shining would be, bright and on top. And now you kind of have to get through the hypnotical gases and the all the stuff to sift through what you like.
Yep.
And there's like so much, especially now with like streaming, like you can just upload something you made on your phone like right now. So there's just it's harder to find the gems. I think in the fray you got to be a little more selective because if you just go by what's spoon fed to you, you'll hear a lot of stuff that's like, whoa, what is this? And then it's like, oh nah, this stuff is still there. It's just a little hidden but beneath the surface, like the Jizza said. So but it's still there and there's still people doing it. It's new people doing it. It's not just the old school cats doing it.
Yeah.
There's new people coming up with new ways to tell stories and new ways to spit. But there is definitely like if you listen to the radio, then you miss it because they don't necessarily play it.
Do you guys have recommendations on how to find those gems? How do you guys find the gems, as Doomy was saying?
Follow me.
I think it's a lot of communities and word of mouth. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like, don't just rely on the feed and the algorithm.
Yeah.
Of what
Yeah.
comes to you by happenstance. Like, kind of search it out, figure out like, oh, here are the places. Look at like playlists of DJs of underground DJs.
Oh, the
'cause I'll find
DJs,
stuff like
Yeah.
that.
Definitely.
And it'll be like, yo, these cats in France have this radio show where they're playing, and it's like, oh, and you'll recognize some stuff, and then you'll see some stuff you don't recognize, and you dig into
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Kind
Yep.
of pick up on that.
I'm on
And-
Twitch. I'm going to Mark.
Oh no, I was just gonna say yeah, pretty much like that. I mean, I think that if the algorithm is showing you stuff that you don't identify with, it's time to like meaningfully change your algorithm, which is kind of just like look at artists that you like and maybe follow some of the artists that they're following and then kind of like interact with them the algorithm will eventually pick up and show
Yeah.
you more of that. But it's gonna try to figure out what the masses want, and if you have a a different view. I mean, like do follow Doomy, follow Night Train, follow me. I just dropped a record or a video, actually, a full song that has Just Paul on it. I'm going to be performing it, and it's a really big. It's like a 7 or 8 minute story, about just a whole. I don't want to spoil it for you. You got to come, but it's called Just Kids, and but yeah, no, it's kind of like you just gotta sometimes follow different artists, and the algorithm nowadays is kind of like the gatekeeper, like Doomy was saying. It's not the labels necessarily; it's like the Spotify playlist curators or whatever social media algorithm that's kind of figuring out what to show and what not to show.
And it's not just the algorithm. It's like, get out and touch grass. Like a lot of
Yeah.
times when I'm out at a festival or an event, I'm writing it down, I'm taking notes, I'm looking at people's Instagram, I'm digging through, and the algorithm eventually does come back to me. But I can't tell you how often I've gone to events and been pleasantly surprised. I went to Cannabis Fest year before last, the Wu-Tang Clan, and there's Devin the Dude performing with the Backyard Band. But on top of that was Dior Ashley Brown, which is
Mm-hmm.
on my album, and Cumbia Heights, which was Latino, and it was like there's so much out there, and it was a red, gold, green, and it was just like hitting me left and right, and I was just on my phone going, okay, follow, 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 follow. Um, Bands in town, song kick. I sync that kind of stuff with my listening habits. I get bombarded with like 30 emails a day of, oh, Rock Marciano is going to be in town, or so and so is going to Devin the Dude is going to be at Pure Lounge or whatever, and it's like it's I have to actually say no. And then I hear, like I said, I hear other people on the other side going, well, like, oh, great example is my algorithm sometimes during the Kendrick and Drake beef was all Kendrick, all Drake, and I love Kendrick. I have my problem with Drake, but when a major artist has a controversy, the algorithm will, especially if you say I like hip hop. Well, what kind of hip hop? It will hit you over the head with anytime Kanye has an antic, every time he does something crazy. At this point, I'm like, oh, he must be dropping a new album. I don't even listen to Kanye West anymore. But it's like, oh God, he did something crazy. You wouldn't believe what Kanye did. He drop any music, and is it good? Okay, I'm moving on. What else is going on right now? Yeah,
The other
so
thing that I'd say to like counteract that, so it's funny. I do experiments. I'm sure you all do too, where I'm like, hey, the Kendrick and Drake and blah blah blah. But by the way, I have a new record out, and just watch that. The likes and the whatever soar on this post of mine, and I'm like, yeah, I see what you're doing, Mr. Zuckerberg. I see what you're doing. But
yep,
Mm-hmm.
yep.
I think
Mm-hmm.
it's important for as artists and also as fans, listeners, that we support and share what local artists are doing. You know what I mean? Like I feel like a lot of times, oh, the Clips album is so dope. Oh, yeah, Nas has a new album with Premiere, and it's like I'm bigging up all these other cats. Meanwhile, I'm in the same field as a lot of these other independents, trying to get some light, but I'm not shining light on anybody but the people that are already in the spotlight. And I
Well,
don't think
I'm
that.
claiming the clips because when they from Virginia, so I was
Word up. But
yeah.
yeah,
I'm
we
gonna
gotta
claim,
big
even though
each
they're
other
not the
up.
DMV, but they're the
Right,
V. But
right.
yeah,
The V. I saw
yeah.
that controversy on there. Like, how far from the
They're
DMV you have
they're
to be DMV?
they're
Is Baltimore
not
is
they're
Baltimore part of it?
no, it's not part of it.
It's
Baltimore
not.
is not part.
Richmond is
Check
not part
Northern
of it.
Virginia. Northern
Right.
Virginia is part of it, but
But
yeah,
yeah, so we got to big up each other. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Yeah.
And support artists that are in the area and all of that. And like they say, you support people, that support might just come back to
And it
you.
doesn't make it hard when they're that talented. Like the
Mm-hmm.
DMV has some of the most talented artists I've ever met in my entire life, and that's I'm flexing. And I'm talking talent and art. Like from a music perspective, I don't look at anything that Mark or Doomy has done and put them in the category of local or independent. If it's good, it's good.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm listening to a Mark Toure album song, like I said with my homegirl Alison Blanc, it's followed up by a Beyonce song. Like it's just music, it's just fluent. And then maybe one day I'm just listening to a Corn record. I'm just listening to Issues or something. Like it does not matter. Good if good shit is good shit, it doesn't matter to me. But to Doomy's point, I'm still gonna look out for my own. In fact, I'll give you a pass if I don't really feel you, but you're from the area because I want the area to win.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, last question. Well, actually, second to last question. What do you think, or what have you found to be the sweetest part of doing music in this area? And what do you think has been the most challenging part?
In a lot of ways, I think that what makes doing the music here in this area is just like how diverse it is. Like it's the DMV. You've got three different places, three different like there's so many different hubs and little cities within there to do music, and then in each one of those, you got all these great little venues sprinkled in, and just kind of like the crowds that you can attract. You could do a show in Silver Spring, you could do a show in DC, you could do a show in VA, and all of them would have very different crowds, very different venues, but that kind of helps independent artists or just artists in the area to kind of find their right pocket, their right place to go and perform. I think in my personal opinion, I think one of the hardest things sometimes has kind of in a way also been that it's kind of spread out. So getting people to kind of get together in a lot of ways, it's like kind of like the DMV, like why Baltimore doesn't count, I guess, is because it's not directly off 95 and there's no metro to go there right now. So if you're doing something that's a little farther away, it's a big area. So getting people to the other side of the DMV for a show can be a big ask. And then obviously, post COVID, a lot of the venues kind of turned over. There's new ones coming in, but it's a lot to navigate sometimes with actual like live shows and getting people together around and everything.
How about you guys?
Yeah, I think it's I think the best part is the camaraderie and to Mark's point, having all those different sounds and stuff together. I love things like when we all get together and we have like a rallying cry. I'm talking to all artists, not just hip hop, but just like when we're all getting together and we're all sharing stories and supporting each other. That is a really great feeling. I mean, I'm not tooting my own horn, but I kind of am. But there have been times where I walk down like U Street, which is I've been freestyling and doing stuff on U Street for God, like 18 years. And like, no lie, I can walk down the street, be like, "Night Train, what's up, man? What's going on, Train?" And feeling that, you feel at home. You got a sense of belonging. My DJ, which is also actually my brother-in-law, was thinking at one time of moving down to Georgia. And and about a year and a change ago, DJ Teach, he we were at a dinner with some other musicians and DJs and artists, and he said it was that moment I realized I was like, holy crap, I'm really a part of this community. I can't leave. I can't leave. And I was really that meant something. That meant a lot to him. But on the challenging tip, it's really again to Mark's point. It's like it it is we are a transient town, and that means we are. I don't want to bring in politics, but a lot of people come in, they're here for 4 to 8 years and they leave. They're here to get their I am a homegrown, meaning I am three generations deep. I am a I can't say the word anymore, but I'm not a Commanders fan. I'm old school. I'm the other guy. I'm the other fan and the other name we don't talk about. So I just say Washington football team because I'm an old fart. But yeah, we go deep. And so when I see Michigan State, I'm like, go away. When I I see somebody with a Patriots jersey, I'm like, go to New England. Like, get out of here. Come on, man. Get out of here. And so but they bring that with them and they don't want to. I don't feel, I got guys at my job and they look at me like, wow, he's a local, and everybody else is, I went to Georgetown University and now I work here. And you know what I want to really hear? I can't wait till my favorite band from Portland, Oregon comes into town because I kind of finally get to see them. And I'm like, guys, we're over here. We're literally right here. We're better than them. I'm telling you. Check out the punk rock scene. Check out the Bad Brains. Like, come on, man. So it is a challenge in that respect because you're pulling for those people, those eyeballs, and we are a very creative and artistic town that kind of gets overshadowed by certain people in the White House or whatever's going on the Hill. I always say that there's Washington and there's DC.
Yeah.
We're DC, okay? We're the side of town where the staffers don't go. They go on First Street. I've seen the bar where the staff. I saw an all-white staff, and they were all sitting behind the hill, and they were playing NWA, and me and the one bartender who was black looking at each other, shaking our heads like, yeah, they're not coming over to 14th Street. No. We need to fix Washington. Yeah, you need to fix DC. When the protesters and the January 6th came around, people out of town were like, "Are you okay, Train? Are you going to be?" They don't know where we live. They think we all live at the White House. That's what they think. And it's like when you come in to DC, you get the graffiti, you get the go-go, you get the punk rock, you get the real stuff. And just pulling them in. That's the challenge. It's like screaming, like I don't know how New Orleans does it. I don't know how Atlanta does it. But when it comes to Washington, D.C., man, we are crazy with the arts. We're better than all of them.
Yeah, absolutely. And so I think the challenge is, how do we get the rest of the United States and the world to recognize that? But yeah.
And I think a lot of times too, it's like that diversity, the broad spectrum of arts and culture that kind of culminate with the different people that come to DC, because it's kind of like there's homegrowns like Train, and then there's people that come here, move here, stay and leave. It's kind of like, how does that, formulate into like a long-standing unit, right? If people are only here for a couple years and then leave, and how does that build into something? For me, one of the most challenging thing was when I first got here. It was Capital City Records, there was Bar None, there was Bohemian Caverns, and all them spots are gone. And there's new places, right? New spaces and everything. And shout out to all the venues. But I think in losing a lot of that, a lot of the opportunities and things where people could kind of operate, and it wasn't like just commercial glitzy bottle service type things. It was like more supportive of kind of like the independent scene. So that for me was the challenge. And then I think sometimes too, I think it's probably common to many areas. It's not like a DC thing exclusively, but that instead of that support, that rivalry, that like, oh well, he's this whatever, or those VA people, and like people who say that, like I've heard people say DMV is a bad thing, and it's like, big up to them if that's how you feel.
No.
But I'm like, how is that a bad thing? Like, I want to add people to my numbers, right? I want to swell the numbers, and like I said, if they feel that way, I'm not trying to say they shouldn't. That's a personal thing, but I'm saying for me, that unity and coming together just makes us stronger, and it opens up avenues. I'd love to be like, oh, I can pop over here and perform. I can pop over here.
I love it. The diversity, man. We are strong when we're diverse, man.
Yeah. And
I love it.
And having that variety of opportunity too. Like, it's not just the club scene, you know what I mean? There's like the education scene, there's the park scene, there's the rec center and community, center scene, and different stuff. And so like as an artist, like if you've seen that Chappelle skit, Wu-Tang Financial, diversify
Wu-Tang.
your bonds.
Yeah.
Right? Like, if you don't have a diversified portfolio as an artist and you just rap or you just sing, and that's
artist. That's artist too, man. It's like everybody's from here, man. Chappelle's from here.
Yeah.
My man, who's the angry guy who I love him. He's on Inside Out. He plays Anger. What's his name? He's on Daily Show.
Louis Black.
Louis Black, yeah. He's
Back in
Silver,
Black from the Daily
Back
Show.
in Black. Oh yeah, he's from Silver Spring. I read his book. Shout out to Ray Ami. Y'all know who Ray Ami is?
No, who's that?
She's one of the 3 singers for K-pop Demon Hunter. She's from Montgomery County.
Oh wow. Wow.
Yeah, she's from Germantown. That's the DMV right there.
Germantown.
Yeah, Germantown. She just went platinum, man.
That's dope. And then we got Corday, IDK, Odyssey, like so many people who are doing such big things.
Maya just turned 46. Yeah, like it goes deep. You know, my
And even like people like Asheru, like I remember when I came out
Yeah,
hearing
I
him,
am
Asheru
I was like,
stoned that the
oh
builder
man, like,
refused.
oh man,
Woof.
and Nonchalant, and then stuff like Fugazi,
Mm.
so many different genres too.
yeah.
Oh
And
man,
then
Bad
and
Brains,
I'm
DJ
gonna shout
Premier.
this brother out
Exactly.
too because I don't know if he's won an award yet, but y'all need to give him an award, a DJ RBI.
Oh
Like
yeah.
when
Yes,
I met
yes.
him, trajectory of the work I was doing in the DMV changed because he's the type of brother who'd be like, "Train, do you know Do Me? Hey yo, this is my man. This is what he does. Y'all
That
should
was the
connect." He's like a
do me.
connector.
That was the get together that we were at that changed my DJ's mind. Was a party
Hmm.
for RBI. So
Yeah.
think that
Like
these he connects all the ties. DJ
he's like,
RBI is a
and
legend.
he, because a lot of
Yeah.
people are
Good.
like
Good people.
gatekeepers, and it's like, well, I know Asheru, but I'm not gonna introduce him to you. But he'll be like,
Nah.
no, this is my man. Hey, you should talk to him. He's doing really good stuff. Or hey,
Mm-hmm.
and I've connected him with opportunities, and he never, without blinking, he'll be like, come on my radio show if you got a new song. Come, let's do an interview. Like he's like super, and the more people we have like that, I think the stronger the
Hmm.
scene will get, and the bigger and better things we'll all be able to do. And shout out to you, Danny, for bringing us
Yeah,
together,
yeah.
putting
Shout out to
this
you, man.
together,
Absolutely.
because
For
Yeah,
that's
sure.
yeah, yeah.
critical, like ultra critical, to support the local frequency.
Yeah,
You
we
know what I
gonna
mean?
grind. We gonna grind. Get them cats out for that show, man. Best believe. Best believe.
I can't wait. So, okay, two more questions because I'm gonna keep adding questions here onto it.
Okay.
So what have you got coming out? What's coming up for you?
All right, Mark,
You-
me, because I got a lot of stuff going on. So
Okay.
I want to.
Do me. You want to start?
Yeah, sure. So, Do Me Right, the album Do Me Right of Zimbabwe Legit, called Forward to the Future, is out now. Came out this year. It's on CD, it's on vinyl, it's on streaming as well. I obviously prefer the physical product because artist gets more money when you purchase it. But it's a really dope album. A lot of the icons and luminaries from my hip hop experience are on it, including folks like Speech from Arrested Development, Chuck D from
Oh,
Public
nice.
Enemy, Chub Rock, Breeze Ever Flowing, YZ, Elder Sensei, like a bunch of people, plus just a lot of dope lyricism, perspectives from yours truly, just kind of talking about the story of my life. Super dope record. Really proud of it. It's been making some good noise. Some singles have gotten up on the college charts, and DJs have been
Nice.
spinning it. People have been playing it. So really excited about that, pushing that heavy. And then obviously you can get your Do Me Right gear, like the logo, at the shows and everything. And then I'm teaching hip hop ensemble at GW, doing some international cross cultural exchange projects that I have in the works. And people can find out anything and everything about what I'm doing at domeright.com because I finally have it, so I got to big it up. But that's the central place and jumping off point for all the things that we doing.
And do you have that logo on merch? Are we gonna be able to buy stuff?
Oh
At the
yeah, yeah, for sure. I'm gonna have
okay.
T-shirts, and I'll have the vinyl LP for people to buy. I'll even have CDs. I can sign them, do whatever you want. And I have stickers to give away for free. So if you just want a sticker, you get a sticker. You get a sticker. All of that. But
Oh,
yeah,
how
and then
how Oprah of you.
and then we also have a video out with some other dope artists from the DMV, the Poem Cs. So I did a song with them called Inside Outside, and
Oh, I
that
designed one of their
video's
album
out.
covers well, a while ago actually.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, crazy.
So lots of good stuff. Lots of good stuff for you to check out, and it's DUMIRIGHT on all platforms, all social media. So tap in, see what we got going on.
Okay. Mark.
That's dope. Yeah, no, I have a song called Just Kids, which features Just Paul, and shout out to Godfather Beats who produced it. So we just released an extended version of that on Calm Bomb Collective, which is a 501c3 nonprofit that helps neurodivergent individuals, run by this really dope producer, Chrome. And we released a short film for that, which we shot a while ago, and it was like doing the film circuit, we were submitting it to festivals. We got a lot of good feedback. It was like a little too long for the music video category, too musical for the short film category. And at a certain point, I was like, let's just get this out here. And it's we're doing really well. It's been out for like 2 weeks and doing numbers. And that's a song that I'll be performing with Just Paul. So there's that visual is out. It's called Just Kids. Really important storytelling. Talks about a lot of mental health, suicide prevention, young love. A lot of really big poignant topics. I'll be releasing a live version of my song Back to Hip Hop under Calm Bomb, and then Chrome and I under Calm Bomb as well will be releasing a song that we're doing together called Complete, which is really important to me. I've been writing this for a long time and really wanted to connect with kind of the right producer to bring this together, and I was really fortunate to connect with Chrome. It's a song about neurodiversity, autism spectrum in particular. That's something that I've been working with kids on the spectrum since 2008. So it's something that I've really wanted to do for a long time, and it was just I think it's going to be a really powerful, meaningful song that'll connect a lot of people, especially now with just again not trying to go back into politics stuff, but just general misinformation. Like there's so much going on that it's kind of just like helping people understand that it's not necessarily something that's something that needs to be stopped or anything, but it's just like a way to connect with other individuals and kind of adding some accurate education and everything around that topic.
Oh, I can tell you something that someone who needs to generally be stopped.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that
I
sounds
love
dope, man.
Just
I'm
one?
looking forward to that.
I
Oh,
like
thank
that,
you.
man. Yeah, that sounds
Appreciate it,
crazy,
man.
man.
And
You're gonna have all the
shout
merch
out to
and stuff
Chrome
there,
too.
right?
Shout out to
Yeah.
Chrome too, because
Yeah.
Big
he's
ups.
on the record. He's a super dope producer. But yeah, you gonna have merch at the show?
Oh
Yeah, man.
yeah. No, I'm gonna have some albums, some merch, some clothes, getting some stickers and everything made up, and yeah, you can follow all the music too. It's just I got my legal name up here right now, the teacher name, but it's the same way. It's Mark Toure, just spelled with this is the French way, so it's Mark and then number 2 Ray. On all social medias, www.marktoure.com, all that stuff.
Dope. Okay, it's my turn. All right. So, yeah, what's up, man? It's Night Train 357 in the building.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I have celebrated my 1 year anniversary for my latest album, which is called Affirmations, which is all about positive self-talk, and it's had a lot of nerd references and stuff like that, and a lot of bops in it, a lot of great features, and it's on vinyl. So you can download it. Sure, you ain't gonna get it on Spotify because I decided not to put it on Spotify for a lot of reasons. You can call me a liberal, or you can call me a bleeding heart. I don't know, but yeah, you're gonna have to get this joint on. This is my Blue Period record, so you got to get this on my Bandcamp page at nighttrain.bandcamp.com or nighttrain357.com. But also, what I have in the works right now is I've gotten into writing, specifically screen writing for movies. I've co-written 3 movies. Currently, 2 of them are on Amazon Prime and Tubi. They're called 1 out of 100. They are about it's a kids empowerment movie, which also deals with inner city struggles and martial arts because I am also a 3rd-degree black belt in Tien Shin Pai Northern Style Shaolin as my base. I got my 3rd degree last year, and I am trained under Master Willie the Bam Johnson from Baltimore, from the Lafayette Projects, Baltimore, Maryland. He is the only African American black man to win 7 world championships,
Wow.
and he was on a show in the '90s called WMAC Masters, which was produced by Bruce Lee's daughter Shannon Lee. We have written
Is
three.
there a movie about that? Like that? What you just said?
That's coming soon.
Intriguing,
That's the
man.
4th thing. We're actually I'm jumping ahead, so I don't want to say anything until after it gets done.
Right.
But this is semi-autobiographical, the 2 films that we have done. So they're not kind of like 8 Mile, where it's not really about Eminem, but it's about Eminem. So I definitely think you should check them out. It's 1 out of 100 and Heroes, 1 out of 100 Part 2. The second movie is starring R. Marcus Taylor, which you probably know him as Suge Knight in Straight Outta Compton. the we have also partnered with some of the members of my school are in a Brian Thompson film starring Clifton Powell from Friday and also Ray. It is an indie film called Blowback, which is kind of an action film. And my both movies have won awards. The first movie won 6 international awards: best film, best screenplay, so on and so forth. The second movie won best action scenes at the Virginia Black Film Festival in Hampton, Virginia this year. And the third movie, which is coming out for a special screening at the Charles Theater, November, I want to say November 14th, which will be 2 days after our show, is going to, actually, no, I think it's the 13th. So it's the day after our show, will be Loyal Justice, which is kind of a action-packed blaxploitation, think Shogun Assassin meets Cleopatra Jones kind of vibe to it. So I wrote that as well. I'm in all the films in various parts, but mainly I've been working as a co-writer with Master Bam. And so and shout out to my wife Brianna, who just started writing herself. She actually went to a workshop with Issa Rae when Issa Rae was at the Kennedy Center for Hooray Media, and her short story and screen got picked up by her church, which has a theater program in the DMV. Shout out to the DMV. Shout out to Victory Christian Ministry, because the same theater program is also the home base of Jamie Lawson from Sinners. So she is also a DMVer. And so every time she comes back into town, we all want to take pictures with Jamie Lawson. She was the one in the movie with crawling on the ground. It's like, you need to go to church. It's like, I know where your church is. So she just had a new, so my wife just had a screenplay as well. She's also an artist and graphic artist and martial artist as well. We're overachievers.
That's so dope. That's really cool. And now I understand why Wu-Tang has extra meaning for you too,
Oh man,
with the martial arts and everything. Yeah, that's dope.
Yeah. Also, they were one of the first big artists that I opened for, because I opened for Wu-Tang in 2009. Mana, which was from the area, she was dope. She's a dope MC herself. I believe she moved to Utah. She came back here. I think she moved back up to North Carolina. Mana was on the bill with me, and also Logic. I did a show with Logic. Yeah, he was one of his first shows, and we opened up. We were the opening acts before not the full clan, but it was Inspector Deck, Capadonna, DJ Mathematic, and Ghostface Killer. I'm on Ghostface Killer's Cream of the Crop Volume 1 mixtape.
Oh wow.
Yeah, on my last record, one of his songs, I got on that mixtape. And also I've opened up for Slick Rick and the late great Biz Markie. May he rest in peace.
Oh man.
Yeah.
I had the chance to open for Capadonna and Inspector Deck when they were in Silver Spring back in 2016 or 17 at the Fire Station 1. And yeah, Deck and Cap are really cool. I got a chance to chat a little bit with Deck. He's a really, I mean, really dope artist, but real cool, down to earth too.
I love Deck stuff. I love Deck. I
just shout out to Mana too.
Yo, Mana was she's an incredible artist. Like, the community here is great. It's just I love it. But yeah, I'm just an artist through and through. So that's what I've been up to. Check out Affirmations if you get a chance to get nighttrain357.com.
Okay. All right, last question. Who has some Spinal Tap moments? Does everybody know what Spinal Tap is?
I know Spinal Tap the band. What's the moment?
It's
Yeah, go ahead, Mark.
Well, I was gonna say Spinal Tap. That's the movie that's based. It's like a mock based on a fake band, right? So
it is, and they have the most ridiculous, funny mistakes and things that they've done. So kind of like funny moments of things that have happened along the way.
I've had funny moments. I don't know if they're hip hop moments. No, I can think of some. And the music moments, yeah.
So one of my favorite moments, I was doing a thing at the Kennedy Center. It was like really cool because it was like MCs paired up with sustainable social entrepreneurs, and we were basically doing like a business pitch contest, except we were spitting songs about each enterprise or whatever. D Nice was DJing and MC Light was hosting, and I had Asheru in there, Wes Felton in there, Tony Blackman. Like I kind of curated the artists that were going to be part of it, so we'd have a dope show. But anyway, so MC Light's introducing. Coming up next, Tony Blackman. Coming up next, Professor Lyrical, and then she's like, coming up to the stages. She goes, "Do Me Right." She's like, "Now that's a name that could get you in trouble." And at that point, I was like, my work here is done. Like, because I've always admired MC Light like my whole life. Like that was
nice.
Definitely my hip hop crush when she first dropped. And
she's still my hip hop crush. So yeah.
That's awesome. Anything else really funny that happened to you, or like tripping on stage, or some sort of prop went wrong?
Oh, you're looking for like an embarrassing moment. That's what you're fishing for, embarrassment.
Oh, crap, you have to watch it first of all, and there's a second one coming out. But yes, those funny moments where you're like, oh shit, at the time, but then you look back and you're like, it's memorable in a good way.
I had some challenging times. I know that. I know when I had to rock a whole crowd when my entire band and team got COVID.
Oof.
Yeah, that sucked. You're trying to be a great show, but it was, man, you're talking about making lemons out of lemonade. There was a time I got on stage with Capadonna. I was on stage with Capadonna, Wu-Tang Clan. I was on 9th Street, and we did this posse track, me and my friends, and we made the track longer so that we could invite MCs to get up on stage. And so he ended up rapping on the same song with me. And my cousin Roan was like, he's like, yo, give Cap the mic. I was like, bro, I gave him the mic. He went, yo, it's the Night Train and the Wu-Tang Clan. I was like, oh my God, I'm losing my mind. But that wasn't really the funny moment. The funny moment was that when I got off that stage, I was a rock star. And I'll never forget. I was like, I went downstairs and was like, you were just on stage with Capadonna, right? And all the girls were like, hey, what's going on? I started doing the stanky leg. I was like, oh snap! And then my girlfriend showed up, and I was like, oh, fun's over. Yeah, that was.
I think something kind of cool with that is like a couple years ago, I got a chance to perform at the Whammies when it was at the Capitol Turnaround, and I got paired up with Alexandria Krishlo, who's a really dope artist. Sort of a hip hop opera singer. She'll actually be performing some of the background vocals and singing on my set for our show. And she, so we had this collaboration where it's like hip hop song, but with like operatic vocals on top. And it was something that like when we started with an interlude with opera, and then like the beat dropped and I started rapping, and then she came in on the chorus, bringing that operatic feel. And it was something that was kind of cool because like, I'd never done something like that, a collaboration like that. I didn't know. I mean, I knew it was dope, but I didn't know how it was going to go over. And I could kind of see in real time the audience reaction of like people being like, "What is happening?" To be like, "Oh snap!" And like really the energy. And then kind of similar Night Train after the show, everyone's like, "You're the guy who's rapping. You guys, you did the opera singing, you did that." And it's like really cool to see that energy sort of transform. And it was like very much like an impromptu thing, like a new venture. I didn't know how it was going to go, but really seeing how that comes together is pretty cool. But no, nothing wild like Spinal Tap. No speakers falling on my head while I'm performing or anything like that.
Yeah, I've avoided all.
Who knows? Who knows?
I've had embarrassing stuff like that in my life, not related to music. I can't think of anything. I can think of some crazy stuff that happened to me, but not related to the Spinal Tap moment, not the music. No, most of my experiences have been pretty tame, generally speaking. There's been some shenanigans backstage, the green room, some hustling going on in the back, like, hey, where my money at, that kind of stuff. But nothing that has been so like, oh my God, I fell off and I jumped back up. Now I've definitely done the Carlton in a cage at the club. That's not. I mean, my friends dared me to do it, and I did it, and so I was like, okay, cool. When I was in college, it was like, whatever. And then we all went to IHOP, and Lay and Michelle made out, and we poured syrup over their faces. Like that's just college shenanigans. That has nothing to do with music. It's just craziness. But yeah, And I have moments like I got a great story at Artemis. He's a homie of mine, but Artemis went to one of my house parties and he got hammered and fell asleep bare face on the floor. Like, we woke up the next morning and people were taking pictures next to his butt. Again, not a hip hop joint
story. That's like an Artemis story.
That's an Artemis story.
Shout out to Artemis.
I love Artemis.
Yeah.
Artemis got me my first Whammy, man. Hey, man, it's a song. Yeah, I love that band. Shout out to Cecily,
freestyle.
too.
I've got a picture of me, Artemis, and a bunch of other cats freestyling at Chief Ike's Mambo Room when that was still a thing. Like,
Oh, wow.
Man.
We did a video together for a song with like some international hip hop artists. But yeah.
The first time I met him, I was blown away. I saw him at an album release, and I was like, yeah, I want to work with that guy. And then we won an award together.
That's dope. Yeah, shout out to Artemis. He's been doing it for a minute too.
He's been
really,
grinding,
really
man.
Yeah.
He's the man. I
Yeah.
think he got a new joint coming out soon. But yeah, no, I don't know, guys. I don't know. I can't think of nothing. I'm sorry to disappoint you, Danny. I don't think any of us have any super embarrassing stories.
I've tried to stay away from. I mean, I don't know. I haven't done much stage diving, but I've never like fallen through the crowd, or I've seen like videos of people like falling off stage with their auto tune on and like no experiences like that, as of yet at least.
Yeah.
Knock on wood.
There's a scene in Spinal Tap where they're actually, one of the stage props are these human-sized cocoons, and so when the music starts, they're all supposed, like, those are supposed to open, and they all come out like, doing their thing, and one of them doesn't open. So for the entire song, the stage manager is trying to like force open this cocoon. So anyway, it's just, there's funny, stupid moments. I mean, it's an 80s, movie. So, but anyway, all right. Well, I thank you very much, everybody. This was an awesome conversation. And I'm excited to be able to see all you guys in action at the same show. I think it's going to be an awesome lineup. And yeah, that's all I got.